Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the tangle concentration from CZT Hannah Geddes. It's a great game show. I like that. It's an old one though. Neat tangle. All right, it's a grid pattern. And it does, you know what? It doesn't take as much concentration as one might think. And now, okay, I'm going to draw a grid here, but now I'm debating, do I want to do a smaller grid? Because that makes it very impressive. Or just do a 4 square. I don't know. Okay, let's do 4 square because it's equally impressive. And if well, you'll already know if I did a smaller one or not because you'll have already seen it on the front picture. But this way you can see. All right. Like I said, it's neat. Pick a corner, any corner. No. So I'm gonna start here, just as the step out shows, and we're just doing curve lines to start off with. And I'm going to do opposites because I think that in terms of concentration, I think it'll help because we're kind of doing opposites in the opposite squares. So we're going to go curve line to the outside, so going diagonal, curve line to the outside. You can turn your tile. It makes it nice and consistent for, your curve. Use the natural curve of your hand like that. Okay. Then, well, let me think. You could do this 2 ways. You could fill in all of this and then move to the others, but let's not do that. We're following the step out. The thought popped into my head. I'm like, we could. No, let's not. All right. So we started going out from that center. This we're going to go in. Same idea. Curve line going in. This looks like Huggins to me. That shape, right? Just makes me think of Huggins. It's not, of course, but still. All right, now we're going to be doing aura-ing or more curve lines, whichever way you want to think about it. And what we're going to do, so you don't have to think so hard, is the areas, the bigger areas. So the area where the curve is going out, because obviously you can see smaller, bigger. We're going to aura that curve in those bigger sections. And again, I share that so that way you don't have to, look back and go, which ones am I doing again? And then we'll do the same thing. And do take a look at the For More Inspiration link because there are, Hannah shows a bunch of ways to do this, decorating ideas. And let me just look while I'm saying it because I want to make sure that I'm saying it right. Except I lost it. There it is. Yeah. And the fact that all of the things that we're doing in these sections are also, it is decorating, but you can choose if you want to or not, or do something else, Typical Zentangle, right? Here's how to do it, but you don't have to do it. If you don't want to do it that way, you can do it any way that you want to. But here's, that makes it so fun to teach. All right. And what I did, and it's kind of what Hannah did in hers, because I was just focusing on these these opposite sides here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in the other. I joke with that with I have one senior facility that I go and teach Zentangle, and that is one of the things that we always laugh at because it's it is really one of the harder things to grasp, especially if persons like myself who I like to, tell me what to do and I'll follow it. I'm not well, it's not even that I'm not comfortable. My brain just doesn't agree with just going off the cuff all the time. I work on it through Zentangle. I have been known to go rogue a little bit on our Tangle Time sessions. Those are free classes that I offer, in case you didn't know. And if you want information on something like that, link is in the description. You'll see my link tree. And so you can go to my website. And there's some other places that are on the link tree there for classes. Baby steps. If it's not comfortable, it's okay. Because you don't have to. You don't have to. We do what we want. All right. So there's the opposites. And then we're going to do the same thing here. And this is why I shared, the way to think about this. It's like the bigger section, we're doing the auras. Although you could alternate it if you want. It's so hard because I don't want to, it's like, you don't want to confuse people either. It's just, sometime I'm going to make a flow chart of that matrix because it's really funny. Luckily, I like to follow rules and instructions, and so I can at least speak that language versus, just, all right, here you go, and have fun. All right, and then we'll fill in the other sections. It is, I like the name concentration. There's other ones that we've done that, you're like, oh, my head hurts. This one, not so much, but it does take a little bit because you want it, if you want it to turn out, and look nice and, like as if there's a big oval here. I mean, there's just so much neatness with this one. They all take a little bit of concentration. If they didn't, then we wouldn't have the meditative benefits from doing them. Then it'd just be called doodling or something like that. That's why it's not called. Yeah, this is just really neat. And so you can imagine it in a larger grid. And just really, really neat. Now, while I'm doing this bit, and, maybe we'll throw some shading in here too. This is one that, you could get away with not doing shading if you didn't want to, to do any. That's, of course, a completely up to you thing. But in some of the samples that Hannah provided, you can think of just one, technically one square. This is a fragment, just the one square. And you see, we have, the auras turned out, the auras turned in, this direction. That this is the best example of, the idea of fragments. So you don't have to do them in this order if you don't want to. Just to add to you don't have to decorate it like this. You don't even have to put them in this order if you don't want to. So that just means that there is absolutely no such thing as messing up on this one. Just go with whatever ends up happening. Which, again, it's just so fun. All right. And, too, if you wanted to, I suppose you could just turn these inside and then you'd have, you can do whatever you want. All right. Can I say that enough times? No, I can't say that enough times because even though we say it, some of us, me included, me mostly, is like, I like to replicate things. It's just so neat. And it just, takes all types, right? All right, so I'm just putting graphite on those edges. And I'm going to bring it in a bit. Give it some roundness, some puffiness. I might have to do this one with them. Look, isn't it so? I always like just doing like certain sections because it's so neat. Except I'm seeing the line here. I just think it's so cool to see the difference between, you know, shaded and not shaded. Yeah. Another good reason that just occurred to me to do that in stages is, you don't want to make too, you know, especially if you're playing, you might not want to make too many changes, because then, you know, you can't, then it makes it harder to identify, oh, well, what did I really like, or where did I go wrong, type of thing. So if you just kind of take your time and go slow and do, you know, a section or idea at a time, then we see, oh, I really like that. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. That would be really, really super neat in a larger grid. Oh my gosh, it's so 3D-ish. I'm going a little bit darker. And this is where, I mean, think about, you know, if you're a person that is, I don't want to use the word afraid. If you're shy with the, you know, the dark, or you're like, oh, I don't know. You don't want to have the graphite remorse. It's okay. Especially when you have a large area like this, and then just keep your tortillon real tight to where that line is, so that and do little circles, so that way you can control how far out that goes. You know, like I just did, you can add more. Just don't, you know, go crazy. Oh, that's neat. Love it. All right, so if you loved it too and you enjoyed it, I would love it if you click on the like button. They should put a love button in there too. If you liked it enough to see more, would love to have you be a subscriber to the channel. I mentioned the description section, so you will find my version of the step outs as well as Hannah's. And then below that, my link tree. So that's links to everything I could think of to put in there. So a website where you can follow my blog. If you happen to be on Facebook, you can follow my page where you'll see when I post classes, as well as, you know, other things like the daily tangle, class recaps, things like that. And other whatever fun stuff that I, you know, like to post. And then if you'd like to be part of the conversation, we'll say, hang out with a bunch of really neat and sometimes a little nuts tangle addicts, we would love to have you. It's a lot of fun over there. There are 4 questions for you to answer to gain entry, because I like to make sure to set the tone. And, you know, there's just a couple things that I just need to make sure, you know, are understood going in. And you know, it's like you don't have to post. You can just be a lurker. It's okay. You can just like and you know, other people's posts. That's fine. We'd love to have you participate. And that's part of why I have the questions there. So, what else? I have links to other places where I post classes. I don't know. This was so much fun. I had so much fun concentrating on concentration that that's all I got for you. I'm sure I forgot something. Watch tomorrow and I'll have remembered by then. But everything is on that link tree, and so would love to connect. And yeah, because, you know, we can't have too many friends that tangle. We want to have as many friends with pens as possible. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.